Welcome. Tonight, we will slowly explore the quiet and often overlooked stories of history. Take a deep breath, relax, and let your mind drift as we begin. The sun rose softly over ancient Rome. Early morning brought a serene hush to the city. Families awoke slowly in their modest homes. Warm light seeped through thin curtains and open windows. Cobblestone streets gleamed faintly under the rising sun. The scent of fresh bread drifted gently through the air. Bakers stirred their dough with tender, steady hands. Ovens glowed faintly in small stone-walled shops. Neighbors greeted each other with calm smiles and nods. Pigeons cooed softly from ledges and rooftops above. Faint chatter floated from quiet courtyard gardens. Water flowed in the steady rhythm of nearby fountains. Laundry hung on lines, swaying in a mellow breeze. Old women gathered herbs by the soft edge of the river. Their voices were hushed and tender, blending with the wind. Young children played near the cool shade of olive trees. They chased each other with warm laughter under calm skies. Farmers led gentle oxen through dew-covered fields. A mellow light settled over temples and marble statues. Scribes copied letters by the faint glow of oil lamps. Now we move gently to the warmth of a baker's morning. In narrow alleys, trays of pastries awaited quiet customers. Honey glistened on soft, freshly baked cakes and rolls. The scent of figs and olives mingled with warm dough. A steady stream of people moved slowly through the streets. Merchants arranged their goods beneath faded awnings and cloths. The texture of woven baskets pleased the hands that touched them. A calm breeze carried the faint hum of distant work. Sunlight caught the glint of bronze scales in the marketplace. Buyers nodded with serene expressions, examining ripe, mellow fruit. Tomatoes, grapes, and pomegranates rested in wooden crates. A mild aroma of herbs and spices warmed the quiet air. Children watched with soft-eyed wonder at the glistening fish. Fishermen unloaded small catches, folded nets in careful patterns. Nearby, a vendor offered calming sips of cool spring water. The market hummed with a steady, peaceful energy. Dust floated like drowsy thistledown along empty pathways. Old men rested on benches, speaking in quiet tones. Each moment unfolded with measured, steady grace. From here, let us drift to a Roman family's midday meal. The family gathered in a shadowed atrium at noon. Light filtered through an open roof, bathing the space gently. Simple wooden tables held bowls of soft cheeses and bread. Olives and beans rested patiently on shallow clay dishes. The smell of fresh herbs hinted at quiet, attentive cooking. Bread crumbled tenderly between fingers, warm from morning baking. Children sat close, watching the slow ripples of a fountain. Voices were calm, sharing stories in low, even tones. Outside, garden flowers swayed in a faint breeze of warm air. A cat stretched lazily on sun-warmed stone tiles nearby. The family savored each bite with thoughtful, steady enjoyment. The light shifted slowly, casting elongated, mellow shadows. A servant poured faintly tinted wine into humble cups. The sound of water dripping added to the serene scene. The family's laughter was soft, like the rustle of leaves. After eating, some rested on cushions with gentle sighs. The warmth of the midday sun embraced the quiet home. Thoughts drifted calmly as pets lounged in small, peaceful corners. Let us now move toward the slow turning of evening chores. As afternoon melted into a faint golden glow, chores began.
Women washed clothes in stone basins filled with cool water.
Their hands moved with assured, steady motions. Soiled garments were laid across warm rocks to dry. Children helped carry small pails along winding, quiet paths. Men tended gardens, pruning olive trees and herbs softly. Birds settled into trees, their wings fluttering in mellow rhythm. Laundry hung like flags in the calm afternoon air. The marketplace slowed down as many shops quietly shut. Even the boldest calls of vendors softened and faded. City fountains gurgled calmly, echoing through empty plazas. Carts rolled softly against rough stones on quiet cobbled lanes. Sunlight rested on the faded paint of weathered storefronts. Neighbors exchanged nods and quiet words over low fences. A distant bell tolled slowly, marking the hour with calm. Inside homes, curtains fluttered lightly in a still breeze. Candles were prepared for the coming softly folding night. The city settled into a calm, steady heartbeat of rest. Next, we drift toward the hushed comfort of Roman baths. The baths offered a refuge of calm and warmth. Steam rose gently from large, shallow pools of soothing water. Visitors moved through rooms with quiet reverence and care. Mild fragrance of oils and herbs lingered softly on the air. Hands and faces were cleansed in a steady, calm routine. Conversation was muted, voice tones lowered with tender respect. Glazed tiles shimmered faintly beneath torches and open windows. Polished stones felt smooth and cool beneath bare feet. Gentle lapping of water blended with serene breaths and sighs. Ancient statues stood in still, watchful silence all around. Some lay quietly on benches wrapped in soft linen. A faint, warm breeze ushered through open arches and halls. This peaceful world was a balm for tired bodies and minds. Ceremonial oils were applied with steady, skilled hands. The ritual was slow, a quiet dance of peace and comfort. Every drop of water bore with it a calm blessing. Once clean and refreshed, Visitors left with faces serene. From here, we move softly into the quiet rhythm of Roman gardens. In gardens, time seemed to flow with a tender patience. Paths wound calmly among rows of lavender and thyme. Soft petals dropped slowly onto beds of lush green grass. Birdsong filled the air with mellow, peaceful melodies. Stone benches invited quiet reflection beneath fruiting trees. Bubble of a distant spring hummed faintly in the warm air. Vines crept lazily up cool, sun-bleached garden walls. Yellow blooms nodded gently under a tempered afternoon glow. Gardeners moved through rows with careful, unhurried motions. Their hands brushed leaves with calm, knowing familiarity. In this stillness, the mind was free to wander gently. Butterflies flittered quietly above patches of wild herbs. The soft breeze held whispers of distant seas and hills. Every leaf and flower held a story in peaceful balance. Low grasses bowed slowly beneath the weight of mellow sunlight. The garden breathed in a steady, soothing rhythm of life. Now we drift to the tender light of a Roman evening meal. As evening deepened, families gathered near low-burning hearths. The kitchen was warm, interlaced with the aroma of herbs. Clay pots simmered slowly, blending flavors without haste. Hands reached for fresh vegetables, washed by steady streams. Bread was sliced with calm gestures, then shared with care. Soft light flickered against the smooth surfaces of wooden tables. Dishes were passed quietly, each person offering gentle thanks. Outside, cicadas sang a serene lullaby in olive groves. Children's voices softened as shadows lengthened over quiet courtyards. Lanterns were lit, casting mellow halos of amber glow. The family ate slowly, savoring food and each other's presence. The day's worries drifted off, like leaves on a faint breeze. After dinner, a calm walk through moonlit streets awaited. Footsteps echoed softly on stones touched by silver light. Air carried the scent of night-blooming jasmine and warm earth. Stars blinked faintly above the still, restful cityscape. From here, we move to the silent watch of Roman night. Night cloaked Rome in hushed folds of darkness. Windows were shuttered, and doors closed with steady hands. Firelight dimmed softly inside humble and grand homes alike. The city held a breath of calm after a full day. Leaves rustled faintly, stirred by the mild breath of night. Crickets chimed in steady rhythms from quiet courtyards. Shadows danced in the mellow glow of distant lamps. Cats prowled silently beneath the arches and over ancient stones. All was tender and still, wrapped in a vast sleepy cloak. Faint moonlight traced silver paths along tiled rooftops. Occasional whispers floated from late wanderers, folded quickly away. The scent of pine and rosemary whispered through the dark air. Families slept wrapped in woven blankets, breathing in soft unity. Even the grand forum rested beneath crystalline, peaceful skies. Dreams moved slowly, like leaves drifting on a languid river. Soon, dawn would return, with familiar warmth and steady light. We now gently moved to the calm of Roman crafts at work. Artisans worked in quiet shops filled with calming scents. Hands shaped clay pots with smooth, practiced movements. Soft wood chips settled lightly on stone floors beneath steady feet. Jewelry sparkled faintly in the sunlit corners of quiet rooms. The sound of carving was steady and unhurried, like breathing. Glassmakers blew delicate orbs with warm, measured puffs of air. Finely woven textiles were folded with gentle, precise care. Every tool rested peacefully when not in tender use. Craftsmen's faces showed calm focus, their motions steady and assured. In the warmth of shaded workshops, time passed serenely. Small items like combs and pins waited patiently on shelves. Low chatter filled the air, soft and unobtrusive as dusk. Each creation carried a hint of the maker's quiet joy. These moments held a stillness that stretched across hours. The light dimmed slowly, welcoming the approach of evening's hush. Next, we drift toward the gentle bustle of Roman roads. Roads stretched calmly through the Roman countryside, connecting homes. Travelers walked with steady steps on stones warmed by daylight. Wagons moved slowly, their wheels humming a lute-like hum. Trees lined the ways, their leaves murmuring tender messages. Small inns offered rest where travelers shared grounding meals. The scent of cooking fires mingled softly with fresh air. Children played by roadside, their laughter blending with birdsong. Farmers tended fields alongside the peaceful, steady pulse of roads. Evening skies painted the land in hues of soft gold and rose. As day waned, shadows promised soothing rest for all. Beneath vast skies, the world felt timeless and at ease. Now, let us journey tenderly into the quiet of Roman homes. Inside homes, the warmth from hearts spread calm and comfort. Simple furnishings showed the beauty of well-loved, steady use. Curtains fluttered faintly in the cool evening breeze. Cooking vessels rested beside freshly gathered herbs and roots. A cat purred softly from a corner, warmed by fading light. Families shared tender stories by the glow of flickering flames. Each small room held an intimate, peaceful atmosphere. Soft footfalls echoed gently on stone and wood floorboards. Night air slipped in softly through open windows and doors. Children's breathing quieted as they drifted toward serene sleep. Lamps flickered low, casting warm halos across tired faces. Behind closed doors, dreams mingled with the surrounding stillness. These moments felt like a slow, tender embrace. Soon, dawn's gentle light would trace the city's familiar outlines. We now move softly toward the quiet flow of Roman rivers. Rivers wove gently through the Roman landscape, cradling life. Water rippled cool and clear beneath overhanging willow branches. Fishermen sat quietly on the banks, their lines steady and patient. Dragonflies skimmed lightly across the calm, shimmering surface. Reeds bent with slow rhythm as breeze kissed the water. Villagers gathered to rinse cloth and fill clay jugs. Muted splashes mingled with warm birdsong in the calm morning. Sunlight broke softly through a pale veil of mist. A heron standing still, reflected in the glassy flow. The peaceful chorus of nature held steady and unbroken. Children dipped toes cautiously into the tender flowing coolness. Smiles and quiet conversation dotted the lush, dappled banks. Even the stones beneath the water shimmered with gentle light. This calm world hummed softly with life, slow and enduring. Now, let us drift towards the steady ritual of Roman writing. In small rooms, scribes bent over wooden tablets with calm care. Styluses tapped gently, tracing letters with steady precision. Scrolls were unfurled and rolled with soft, deliberate hands. Ink was mixed quietly, and brushes dipped in scented oils. The faint scratch of pen on wax echoed in peaceful stillness. Scribes worked in mild lamplight, their faces calm and steady. Sheets of parchment lay carefully arranged under flickering lamps. Each word was formed like a quiet breath in flowing calm. Thoughts moved slowly as hands recorded gentle stories and laws. Outside, the wind stirred leaves in hushed, mellow patterns. The craft of recording life held a special, tender dignity. Quiet pauses punctuated the steady rhythm of their work. Words drifted softly from mind to hand. The steady glow of dusk filled the small, sacred rooms. From here, we move gently into the calm of Roman festivals. Festivals were moments of warmth and tender gathering. Colored banners swayed softly in a mild afternoon breeze. Friends and families moved calmly between shaded meeting places. Tables were set with bowls of figs, cheese, and bread. The scent of roasting chestnuts curled faintly through the air. Children chased butterflies near the edges of quiet flowered fields. Soft music from flutes and lyres filled open, peaceful spaces. People sat on benches woven from olive branches and straw. Stories and laughter wove quietly through the gentle crowd. Sunlight filtered through trees, casting a golden, mellow glow. Refreshments were shared with calm smiles and steady hands. Every face glowed with serene happiness and tender ease. As evening drew near, lanterns were lit with soft flickers. The festival slowed, folding into a cherished memory. Next, we drift softly toward the mild pace of Roman family life. In the heart of the city, Families rose with steady grace. Breakfast was a simple affair of bread dipped in honey. Soft voices greeted the new day with tender, hushed tones. Children dressed with patient help from mothers' careful hands. Men read scrolls quietly before setting out to daily tasks. Women gathered water from fountains, their steps even and calm. Pets lounged lazily on cool stone steps in the fading dawn. The scent of roasting bread blended with fresh garden herbs. Windows framed peaceful views of neighboring homes and gardens. Neighbors spoke in low voices over shared walls and fences. Street vendors opened with a timid, steady energy and warmth. A warm breeze carried the faint hint of distant pine woods. Life moved like a gentle stream, steady and uninterrupted. Now we move tenderly to the rhythm of Roman schools. Children sat at small wooden desks in quiet schoolrooms. Their teacher spoke softly, writing letters in careful strokes. The faint smell of wax tablets and ink filled the air. Pages turned gently as lessons unfolded at a mild pace. Young voices repeated gentle phrases in calm, measured tones. The afternoon sun streamed through open windows, warming stone floors. Books and scrolls rested quietly on shelves behind the teacher. Kind hands guided slower learners with a patient, steady touch. Quiet moments were filled with a tender sense of learning. Outside, trees cast dancing shadows on the cool walls. The day slipped by slowly, wrapped in steady study and care. As the sun dipped low, children packed away their tablets. Footsteps echoed softly on the way home through empty streets. The schoolhouse quieted, ready for the peace of night. Next, we drift gently to the humble art of Roman cooking. Cooks prepared simple meals with calm, deliberate movements. Herbs from garden beds were chopped with steady, practiced hands. Olive oil shimmered as it was poured into simmering pans. The smell of garlic mingled with the faint aroma of spices. Fresh vegetables were washed tenderly under running water. Baking bread was a slow, nurturing task, done with love. Dough rose quietly beside embers and small stone stoves. Meals were seasoned gently, balancing flavors with quiet care. Family members awaited with calm anticipation, sharing mild smiles. Dishes were laid on wooden tables in peaceful harmony. After eating, leftovers were wrapped neatly for the next day. The kitchen was tidied with careful hands and soft cloths. Even the smallest chores were done with steady, soothing rhythm. From here, we move softly into the calm of Roman entertainment. Entertainment was simple and quietly enjoyed in Roman homes. Musicians played softly, their notes drifting like a warm breeze. Friends gathered around small fires with mellow lantern light. Storytellers spoke in hushed tones, weaving calm narratives. Lute strings hummed gently, blending with the flicker of firelight. Children listened, wide-eyed, but in peaceful silence. Games were slow and thoughtful, played with tender care. Guests sipped Falernian wine in mild, steady conversation. Evening air carried soft scents of burning wood and herbs. Homes echoed with laughter, gentle and comforting in tone. After a while, voices dropped into quieter reflections. The calm of the night deepened with every passing moment. The flicker of flames warmed the small gathering gently. When the night grew deep, guests departed with soft farewells. Now we drift toward the steady moments of Roman farming life. Fields stretched wide under vast mellow skies full of light. Farmers rose early, moving with steady, patient purpose. Animals grazed quietly in sunlit pastures, bordered by soft hills. The sound of footsteps in tilled earth was calm and measured. Tools rested calmly when not in the hands of caretakers. Irrigation channels trickled steadily, bringing life to growing crops. Birds flitted among rows of wheat and barley with serene grace. At midday, a break beneath fig trees offered quiet relief. Simple meals were eaten slowly under the warmth of shade. Work resumed with undisturbed rhythm as shadows lengthened. The earth smelled faintly of rain and freshly turned soil. Evening brought cool breezes and soft calls of farmyard birds. Families gathered again, sharing stories as daylight faded tenderly. Sleep came easily after a day spent in steady labor. Next, we move gently to the peaceful world of Roman artisans. Artisans crafted with steady love in warm, sunlit workshops. Hands shaped leather softly, stitching with calm, even rhythm. Potters spun clay on wheels that turned with gentle consistency. Jewelry was hammered with quiet focus and tender care. The scent of beeswax mingled with the faint aroma of wood. Patterns were etched into bronze with steady, careful precision. Tools rested patiently by the side of calm workbenches. Each piece held the maker's quiet attention and pride. Light filtered through small windows, casting serene shadows inside. Visitors were welcomed with soft smiles and gentle greetings. The flow of creation was a slow, peaceful dance. Every step in crafting felt like an embrace of time. Wax tablets bore designs traced by sure and tender hands. The day closed with the soft clinking of tools put aside. From here, let us drift into the calm life of Roman schooling once more. Lessons continued in the soft afternoon, filled with quiet patience. Children copied letters with steady, tender strokes of charcoal. Maps of the empire were spread out, worn but gently handled. Teachers spoke softly of philosophy and history's slow currents. The room smelled faintly of parchment, ink, and aged wood. Outside the window, bees hummed among blossoming wildflowers. Young learners leaned forward, absorbed in quiet thought. Mellow light brightened the stone walls with a warm touch. The day's work tapered off as shadows grew long and soft. Books were gently closed and placed in wooden cubbies. Students gathered their things with slow, calm efficiency. The coach's last words lingered like a tranquil breeze. Outside, the world awaited with peaceful evening promises. We move gently now toward the tender hush of Roman twilight. Twilight wrapped the city in a softly glowing shawl. Lamp oil was prepared in small, steady motions. Faint light spilled from windows, casting mellow patterns on streets. Families gathered for evening meals in quiet rooms warmed by fire. The aroma of cooked food blended with nighttime's cool breath. Dogs curled up near hearths, breathing slow and even. Children's voices dwindled into soft whispers as night approached. Windows were closed gently, and curtains drawn with ease. The city exhaled a calm sigh beneath the slowly darkening sky. Lanterns hung from hooks, swaying with quiet, rhythmic grace. Moons rose faintly above terracotta roofs and garden walls. Each home settled into a steady, peaceful rhythm of rest. The stars glimmered faintly through a tapestry of hushed air. Soon, the quiet world would drift into full night's embrace. Next, we move softly to the hum of Roman household chores at night. Evening chores were done with quiet kindness and care. Floors were swept slowly to gather stray leaves and dust. Water was drawn in measured steps from cool stone wells. Fires were stoked gently to keep the hearths glowing steady. Steps and voices were hushed to preserve the lingering calm. Cloths were folded, and simple garments hung carefully to dry. Any stray tools were gathered with thoughtful, steady hands. The scent of herbs from the garden was brought indoors. Night air flowed softly through open shutters and doorways. Families moved within homes like shadows wrapped in tender light. The rhythm was peaceful, a lullaby of completion. Soon the city's pulse slowed toward tranquil sleep. We drift now toward the soft murmurs of Roman street life near dawn. As dawn neared, faint footsteps echoed along empty streets. Guards made their rounds with steady, watchful calm. Street sweepers pushed slow piles of dust and leaves aside. The scent of damp earth rose after a cool, silent night. Lanterns were extinguished gently as daybreak touched the sky. Roosters called softly, their voices weaving through the still air. Bakers began stirring flour in peaceful, pre-dawn kitchens. Vendors quietly prepared goods beneath soft morning light. The city yawned slowly, stretching toward the warm glow of sun. In homes, lamps were relit for the coming quiet day. A tender hush settled over the waking cityscape. The steady rhythm of life was about to begin anew. Now we move softly to the gentle routines of Roman morning ablutions. Early risers washed gently in basins of clear, cool water. Splashing was minimal, careful not to break morning silence. Brushes combed hair with tender, slow motion. Faces were scrubbed with leaves and fragrant oils. The scent of lavender and rosemary floated softly in air. Curtains fluttered faintly with the breeze from open windows. Birds sang steady songs that mingled with rustling trees. Children followed their parents' calm routines with wide-eyed grace. Earthenware vessels carried water from home's hidden wells. Mirrors caught gentle reflections of sleepy, peaceful faces. Afterward, clothes were arranged thoughtfully on earthen beds. Fresh sandals were tied with slow fingers before stepping outside. Every movement held an essence of care and mindfulness. The new day was embraced with warm serenity and quiet joy. Let us now drift toward the mellow exchanges of Roman neighbors. Neighbors met in doorways with soft hellos and tender smiles. Morning greetings floated smoothly in the fresh, mellow air. Children played calmly on shaded steps, while adults conversed. Gardens were admired with warm, steady glances and soft words. For a moment, lives mingled in peaceful shared space. Faint laughter bubbled gently beneath slow, easy conversations. Clay pots were compared and exchanged with quiet understanding. Neighbors spoke of weather, crops, and the calm of new days. Hands were shaken with warm, steady grasp and genuine care. In these small acts, community grew in soft, steady layers. The sunlight wrapped them all in a warm, inviting glow. A breeze carried the scent of fresh basil and sun-washed stone. Soon the city's gentle pulse returned to steady activity. Now we move softly toward the relaxing calm of Roman evening walks. As sun neared the horizon, people moved quietly through lanes. Footsteps echoed softly on stones warmed by a fading day. The air cooled gently, welcoming soft garments and steady strides. Shadows lengthened, stretching across vines and flower-covered walls. Evening air tasted faintly of distant seas and warm earth. Neighbors exchanged tender smiles as they passed in calm lanes. Small dogs followed lightly, their tails wagging with quiet joy. Children lingered near fountains, dipping toes in steady relief. The city seemed to breathe in a slow, satisfied rhythm. Lamplight winked to life, casting mellow glows on faces. Everyone moved in soft, peaceful harmony beneath vast skies. Thoughts wandered easily in this gentle closing of the day. Soon, homes called softly for rest and warm embrace. Next, we drift toward the serene quiet of Roman shops at twilight. Shopkeepers tidied gently, stacking goods with slow, mindful hands. Lanterns were hung carefully, their flames flickering calm and steady. The scent of dried herbs and resins filled mellow corners. Shelves held worn jars and bundles tied with tender strings. Soft chatter ceased as shops prepared to welcome new dawn. Cobblers polished leather with gentle strokes of the cloth. Weavers folded cloth with steady fingers in faded sunbeams. Everything was arranged with thought and slow, loving care. The world's rush felt far from these mild, inviting places. Soft bells nearby rang out with hushed, steady echoes. Soon, the city would fall into peaceful night's embrace. We moved gently now toward the faint shimmer of Roman aqueducts under moonlight. Aqueducts curved silently across the landscape, steady and true. Water flowed in calm, constant streams over stone arches. Moonlight washed the ancient stones in gentle silver hues. Owls called softly from nearby trees, their wings stirring air. The sounds of water tapping were steady like a lullaby. The cool breeze carried the faint scent of moss and earth. Stars sparkled faintly above in the boundless night sky. Flowers nodded slowly near the quietly humming water's edge. Crickets and frogs held a meeting of steady night songs. The whole scene was wrapped in a soft embrace of quiet. Ancient stones told their stories in calm, enduring silence. This peaceful flow of life was a gift to the sleeping city. From here, we move softly to the gentle order of Roman dinners. Evening dinners brought families together in tender repetition. The table was laid with humble dishes of vegetable stews. Bread was torn slowly, with quiet appreciation and care. Olives and cheese offered flavors mild and steady on the tongue. The fire's glow flickered softly across faces full of ease. Children ate calmly, sipping warm water mixed with honey. Words were spoken gently, voices low and soothing. The day's cares melted away in the comfort of shared food. Warmth from the hearth filled every corner of the quiet room. A slow routine of washing cups followed with tender hands. Stories eased into the evening, gentle and familiar in tone. Night's deep calm settled over the house like a soft blanket. Soon, eyes closed to the steady, reassuring rhythm of sleep. We now drift toward the peaceful task of Roman pottery making. Potters worked in shaded courtyards with weathered, mellow tools. Clay was kneaded thoughtfully, soft and yielding beneath strong hands. The wheel turned smoothly, a steady pulse of ancient craft. Shapes rose slowly from lumped earth into familiar, peaceful forms. Their touch was tender, coaxing beauty from quiet materials. Sunlight filtered through leaves, casting calm patterns on the floor. Finished pots rested proudly to dry under warm, steady skies. Goods soon destined for homes touched with the warmth of daily life. Children watched with gentle interest as shapes emerged from clay. The potter's breath was slow and steady with each turn. Dust motes floated lazily in the soft air, a peaceful dance. Evening approached with a mellow hush over the quiet workshop. From here, we move softly to the tender rituals of Roman bedtime. As night deepened, families prepared for rest with calming care. Beds were made with soft cloth and folded blankets. Lamps were dimmed until only the faintest glow remained. Children were tucked in with gentle kisses and soft words. The breeze rustled curtains, carrying a faint scent of lavender. Stories were whispered quietly, their tones smooth and steady. Eyes fluttered closed to the steady heartbeat of familiar voices. The world outside grew calm beneath stars and gentle moonlight. Breathing slowed into peaceful rhythms of approaching sleep. Households settled quietly into the embrace of restful night. Pets curled warm in corners, sharing the tender stillness. Soon, the city itself seemed to drift in slow, steady dreams. Now, we drift softly toward the calm dawn of a new Roman day. The first light spread softly across rooftops and garden walls. Morning birds greeted the day with faint, serene melodies. Windows caught the gentle glow of awakening skies. Families stirred slowly, wrapped in the comfort of familiar rhythms. Cooks began lighting fires for the day's first meal. Fresh herbs were picked with steady, loving fingers. The scent of warm bread soon filled quiet city streets. Life unfolded with calm patience in every small detail. Neighbors exchanged familiar nods beneath the soft morning sun. Water was drawn with steady hands from nearby springs. The city breathed in harmony with the slow rise of light. Each day mirrored the last in peaceful, steady repetition. Let us now move gently to the mellow sounds of Roman workshops. Woodworkers carved pieces with calm, focused strokes of hand. Soft shavings fell like quiet snow upon stone floors. Masters and apprentices shared gentle smiles and steady techniques. Warm wood glowed beneath the soft touch of patient fingers. Tools clicked and hummed with steady, soulful rhythms. Workbenches held quiet treasures, waiting to be finished and loved. The scent of pine and cedar wrapped the workshop softly. Outside, birds continued their steady chorus beneath blue skies. Orders were completed slowly, with skill and tender pride. The day waned with sounds of steady craftsmanship and calm. Soon, the city's soft pulse lifted into twilight's embrace. Now we drift toward the soothing calm of Roman baths once again. Steam wrapped visitors in a tender, warm cocoon of calm. Mild splashes mingled with faint conversations held at low volume. Hands smoothed skin with oils scented gently with herbs. Stone benches held bodies relaxed in slow, steady repose. Water flowed with steady murmur over quiet, tiled surfaces. Light glimmered faintly through arches into misty, mellow spaces. Visitors moved with tender awareness, breathing in peace and warmth. Outside, the sun dipped below distant hills in amber glow. Soft curtains swayed under the steady breath of evening air. Silence deepened gently as the last bathers departed peacefully. The calm lingered like a gentle embrace in cooling air. We now move softly toward the quiet closing of Roman markets. Market stalls were dismantled with slow, careful motions at dusk. Workers folded cloth with calm, methodical motions. Goods were gathered tidily into baskets and crates. A tired dog rested quietly among empty wooden booths. The scent of spiced nuts and dried fruits faded gently away. Lanterns were extinguished, leaving shadows in mellow folds. The city's hum faded into a steady pulse of rest.
Faint laughter and footsteps long dispersed into calm night air.
Soon, the streets would dim under the hush of soft stars. Sleep was near for sellers and buyers alike, wrapped in peace. The gentle rhythm of daily life faded slowly into night. We drift now toward the tender hush of the city at midnight. Midnight brought a profound stillness over ancient Rome. Roofs and walls held the city in a steady embrace. Only soft winds stirred leaves and small branches on dark streets. Stars shone gently above, casting pale silver on quiet stones. Sleep breathed deeply throughout houses, temples, and gardens. Breaths rose and fell in harmonious, peaceful cadence inside rooms. The faint sound of water from distant fountains settled softly. A cat moved silently, patrolling the stillness with tender steps. The world seemed to pause in serene, everlasting calm. Night stretched wide, filled with a mellow, steady quietness. Soon dawn's light would brush the sky with gentle fingers. We moved softly toward the first peaceful moments of morning once more. Daybreak came wrapped in hues of faint pink and blue. Birds began their calm songs, greeting the world with ease. Windows shimmered gently with dew and early light's sweet breath. Families stirred under covers, greeting the new warmth with sighs. The aroma of baking bread awaited on tender morning air. Water splashed quietly in basins for morning ablutions. Slow footsteps filled empty streets with calm, steady rhythm. Vendors prepared for the day's activity with gentle care. The city yawned softly, ready to embrace life once again. Hands moved with steady purpose in mills, kitchens, and shops. The cycle of peaceful days continued with warm regularity. Now we drift gently toward the soothing routine of Roman gardening once more. Gardens basked in the mellow sunlight of early afternoon. Flowers opened slowly, revealing tender petals kissed by warm air. Gardeners moved softly among rows of herbs and vegetables. Water was poured with careful hands into thirsty, waiting soil. Leaves shimmered faintly, reflecting a calm, still world. The hum of bees was a gentle lullaby to busy workers. Butterflies flitted leisurely across beds of lavender and sage. Shaded benches invited moments of rest and peaceful reflection. Every breath carried the scent of earth, blossoms, and fresh growth. Tended gardens were hidden gems of quiet, steady life. Green vines climbed slowly on trellises above calm pathways. Soon, evening's coolness would settle over tranquil leaves.
We move gently now toward the mild ending of Roman daylight.
As the sun lowered, colors deepened in mellow, fading light. Shadows lengthened softly across walls and neatly swept doorways. People slowed their steps, moving toward home with tender calm. The air cooled quietly, mingling with faint flower perfumes. Lanterns were lit with care, casting warm halos on walls. Conversations softened, voices dipped into calm, friendly tones. Doors opened to welcome warm laughter and peaceful rest. Evening meals gathered families beside fires and under glowing lamps. Soft voices told gentle tales in the fading amber glow. Sleep began weaving its steady, soothing spell through quiet rooms. The city lay wrapped in a soft patchwork of calm and shadow. Now we drift softly toward the early calm of Roman night once again. The night was deep and hushed with steady breath and stillness. Stars scattered faint light over roofs and garden trellises. Windows glowed with dim lamps tucked behind closed shutters. The air was cool, carrying the scent of night-blooming flowers. Animals settled in quiet corners of homes and fields alike. The city's pulse slowed to a gentle, almost imperceptible beat. Each street was a ribbon of calm stretched beneath moon's watch. Soft winds whispered secrets to leaves and stone alike. The world seemed wrapped in a tender, everlasting embrace. Sleep flowed gently through all, wrapping mind and body together. Soon a new day would begin with soft, steady light. We now end this section, drifting within history's gentle, peaceful fold. The morning light creeps softly over terracotta rooftops. Dew clings to the delicate petals of garden flowers. Farmers step quietly into fields, waking with gentle purpose. Handfuls of ripe olives are gathered beneath warm skies. Distant bells ring faintly, marking the start of another day. Children's laughter drifts lightly from shaded courtyards. Bread is kneaded slowly, filling homes with warm aroma. The sound of water flowing from fountains brings steady calm. Merchants arrange fruits in small wooden crates, vibrant and bright. Shadows stretch long as sunlight waltzes across cobbled lanes. Women fold woven cloth with care, stitching finely with thread. The scent of fresh herbs mingles with the earth's whisper. Old men sit in the piazza, speaking in low, warm tones. The village dog rests under olive trees, eyelids heavy, Soap bubbles float softly above village wells and wheel tracks. Let us now drift toward the peaceful rhythm of a village market. Stalls are lined with figs, grapes, and gently ripened pears. The melody of soft voices blends with the rustle of leaves. A baker wraps small rolls in linen, hands moving tenderly. Sunlight falls in golden pools between wooden tables and awnings. Pottery clinks faintly as jars and cups are set down with care. The scent of tomatoes, fresh and mellow, fills the warm air. Vendors smile gently, trading stories and small gifts alike. Bundles of fragrant lavender lie next to sprigs of rosemary. Children sniff herbs, eyes bright with quiet curiosity. A slow pace hums beneath the chatter and steady footsteps. The market's heart beats with seamless, steady kindness and grace. Farmers' rough hands trace patterns on worn baskets and cloth. Shadows from nearby cypress trees dance in soft afternoon light. A cat curls among the wooden crates, purring faintly in warmth. The market breathes a mellow, enduring calm beneath blue skies. We move gently to the warmth of a baker's morning. Flour dust hovers like a soft mist above a wooden board. Rising dough swells steadily, filling the room with subtle promise. The baker's hands press and fold with tender, practiced care. Warm ovens glow faintly in a corner, echoing quiet heat. Sunlight filters through small windows, catching motes of dust. The scent of yeast and honey drifts wide and comforting. Loaves are shaped slowly, then rested beneath linen with care. The cool, smooth surface of marble counters invites soft touch. Outside, birds sing in gentle bursts, blending with the warmth. A woman offers smiles as she accepts fresh bread with grace. The baker pauses, sipping water, eyes steady and calm. Smoke wisps from a nearby hearth, drifting in serene spirals. Soft murmurs from customers blend with the rhythm of kneading. Bread cools on racks, its crust faintly crackling as it settles. The kitchen hums a steady, nurturing song through the morning rays. Now we drift toward the calm of quiet Roman homes. Floors of cool stone capture the faint warmth of morning light. Clay oil lamps rest beside woven mats, waiting for evening's glow. Gardens bloom within walls, flowers nodding gently in soft breezes. Small fountains bubble faint melodies, filling courtyards with calm sound. Furniture is simple, wooden, worn smooth by many careful hands. Vases hold freshly picked herbs, their scents drifting like whispers. Walls painted with delicate murals tell stories in muted hues. Curtains of fine linen sway slowly with the mild, passing air. A mother braids her child's hair with steady, tender fingers. Clay pots simmer quietly, releasing soft, savory smells into rooms. The family cat stretches lazily on sun-warmed steps near open doors. Footsteps approach softly, mingling with the faint clink of dishes. Ancient scrolls lie by candlelight, their pages filled with calm knowledge. A rooster crows faintly, signaling time with delicate clarity. The hearth crackles low, a steady pulse in the peaceful home. Let us gently wander to the cool shade of olive groves. Leaves shimmer faintly as sunlight dances on their silvery undersides.
Twigs shift with the measured, rhythmic steps of careful pickers.
The earth beneath feet is warm and tender, soft with fallen leaves. A slow breeze carries the sweet hint of ripening fruit and dry soil. Empty baskets rest against gnarled trunks, waiting to be filled. Bird song meanders gently through the branches, a peaceful morning choir.
Shade dapples skin, tracing patterns in calm serenity.
Fingers brush over moss, growing quietly on ancient stones nearby. Whispers of long-ago stories float through air thick with olive scents. The groves hold a hushed stillness, broken only by soft footsteps. Small wildflowers peek shyly among roots, adding gentle color. A pair of neighbors exchange mellow greetings as they gather fruit. Time drifts softly here, unmeasured by haste or loud demands. Sunlight pools in patches on the cool, worn earth at their feet. The grove breathes a slow, tender rhythm, evergreen and forever calm. Now we meander toward the calm of a riverside in Rome. Water flows steady, murmuring quietly to stones beneath the surface. Willow branches brush gently against the clear, cool riverside air. Fishermen untangle nets with slow, careful motions as birds watch. Shadows ripple softly on water, touched by flickering sunbeams. Small boats drift lazily, tied with rope that sways with the current. Grasses lean quietly toward the water's edge, kissed by morning mist. Daylight sparkles faintly on smooth pebbles, settled beneath gentle waves. Old trees stand tall, their leaves whispering stories in a hushed tone. The river carries a calm but lively spirit, endlessly moving yet still. Soft splashes mark the slow patrol of fish beneath lily pads. Families gather quietly nearby, spreading simple lunches beneath broad trees. Children's feet paddle gently, spreading ripples across glassy surfaces. The riverbank holds a tender peace, wrapped in nature's steady arms. Wind carries distant bells, blending with the water's hushed chorus. Inhaling the cool air, one feels entirely embraced by serene stillness. We now drift to the hush of a twilight garden. Stars begin to twinkle faintly through darkening branches overhead. Lanterns hang from branches, casting mellow pools of warm light. The scent of jasmine and rose flows softly on gentle evening winds. Insects hum faint lullabies, weaving a calm melody for night. Leaves rustle in quiet conversation, sharing secrets beneath the sky. A small fountain's trickle adds a steady, tender heartbeat to the garden. Sparrows settle quietly among the trees, feathers ruffling in calm rest. Warm stone paths invite slow strolls beneath the moon's tender glow. Shadows dance lightly as breeze stirs the petals of fragile blooms. A cat pads softly through the grass, eyes half closed in peace. Wooden benches sit empty, cradled by flowering vines and faint scents. The garden breathes deeply, filled with the tender pulse of night. Soft laughter from distant homes mingles with the earth's slow sighs. Branches arch protectively, cradling the garden in serene stillness. Here, time feels folded gently beneath the sky's infinite calm. Now we journey to the warmth of a quiet Roman kitchen. Earthenware pots bubble steadily with root vegetables and fragrant herbs. A woman dips a spoon, tasting with slow, thoughtful care. Sunlight warms the room through a small lattice window dusted with age. Bundles of garlic and onions hang from beams, drying with tender patience. Flames flicker faintly beneath pots, casting playful, steady shadows. Bread rests on a wooden board, its crust golden and inviting. A child sits quietly by a corner playing with folded scraps of cloth. Spoons clink softly against bowls, blending sounds with careful movements. A cat sits near the hearth, basking in calming warmth and gentle light. Fresh figs and olives wait on a stone slab, rich and mellow. The kitchen hums with a peaceful, steady rhythm through morning tasks. Herbs, crushed gently, release sweet aromas that fill the cozy space. Hands wipe surfaces slowly, moving with steady, knowing grace. Outside, faint voices call softly as neighbors pass by on streets. The kitchen stands as a warm, tender heart in every Roman home. We now drift toward the day's closing, soft and slow. Evening descends with a tender, amber glow over tiled rooftops. Smoke curls gently from chimneys, carrying scents of herbs and firewood. Lanterns are lit with steady hands, casting faint glows on stone walls. Families gather slowly, their voices hushed in homes filled with warmth. The air cools gently, bringing peace to the bustling daytime world. Shadows lengthen and stretch lazily beneath olive branches and vines. Dogs curl beside hearths, their breathing steady and slow like hearts. A soft wind nudges curtains, inviting calm sleep to nearby rooms. Footsteps fall quietly on cobblestones, fading away into restful calm. The city exhales, sinking into a long and tender sigh. Windows shimmer faintly as lamps glow behind drawn curtains. Neighbors exchange gentle farewells in low tones near doorways. The scent of baked bread melds with jasmine on a cool air. A lover's tender glance is shared softly beneath star-spattered skies. All life seems wrapped in a warm, enduring, peaceful blanket now. We now gently glide to the calm heart of Roman baths. Water pools shimmer with a steady, healing glow beneath marble pillars. Steam rises faintly, curling in the mellow light like whispered dreams. Muted voices blend with the soft ripple of slow-moving water. Stone benches bear warm bodies, relaxed after slow, thoughtful cleansing. Soot-blackened lamps flicker, casting tender shadows on polished floors. Mint and lavender fill the air, carried on gentle wafts of steam. Footfalls are muffled on wet stone, steps careful and unhurried. Bathers share quiet stories, their tones hushed and steady as waves. Small fountains produce delicate splashes, adding a peaceful chorus. The warm water wraps around limbs like a calm, soft embrace. Hands scrub slowly, muscles loosening in tender care and stillness. The scent of oil and honey lingers on skin, faint and sweet. Quiet moments stretch between conversations, filled with serene breath. Scrolls and cushions lay nearby for resting after tranquil bathing. The bathhouse holds an enduring calm in its warm, steady heart. Now we wander softly into a Roman orchard's embrace. Fruit hangs heavy on branches, ripening beneath steady, golden sunlight. Soft grass invites bare feet, adding cool relief from the warmth. Bees hum gently as they move between blossoms and leaves. A slow breeze stirs branches, carrying faint scents of ripe apples. Farmers rest on wooden carts, enjoying mellow shade and quiet sighs.
The orchard is alive with soft sounds and peaceful, natural light.
Children pick small fruits, eyes bright with calm discovery. Leaves whisper stories of many seasons, winding softly through time. Tall grass sways slowly, bending toward the earth's steady heartbeat. Sunlight filters through leaves, painting dappled patterns on warm soil. A nearby bird calls faintly, adding a tender note to the calm. Fruit baskets sit half full, ready for slow, steady morning gathering. The orchard breathes a mellow, familiar calm under vast, serene skies. Fallen fruit lies quietly beneath trees, adding sweet notes to earth. Time drifts softly here, wrapped in nature's warm, unending rhythm. We now move gradually to the tender hush of a Roman evening meal. Candles flicker on wooden tables, cast in soft glows on worn wood. Family members settle into seats, voices lowered in steady greetings. Bowls of olives and cheese await slow picking, shared with gentle care. The scent of honey and figs fills the air, tender and sweet. Steamed vegetables rest quietly alongside fresh bread, warm and inviting. A child spoons soft porridge, eyes half-lidded with comfortable contentment. Conversations flow softly, like rivers winding gently to the sea. The clink of pottery is measured and calm, blending with steady words. Outside, stars begin to sparkle faintly as night deepens softly. The meal ends with fragrant wine poured slowly and sipped with quiet joy. Hands reach to clear plates with tender, practiced motions. Lantern light pools on faces, warm and serene in its glow. The world feels hushed and steady as twilight yields to night. Small smiles share the weightless comfort found in evening's embrace. Here, Life folds tenderly within daily rituals of rest and renewal. And so, the quiet rhythms of history slowly continue through time. Thank you for listening, and have a peaceful night.